And can you make it last forever? I said I'm about to go to war.
Fuck it. Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I am so excited today. I guess I'm just excited because I got my hair done. Like, it feels so good when you get your hair done. You don't gotta worry about like washing and detangling it and all that other good stuff. But anyways, welcome to another video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. It's your girl Rihanna Cache, and in today's video, I feel like my camera's crooked. Is that better? In today's video, I'm going to be doing a paranormal story time. I don't usually do story times or videos like this. I am definitely going to get more into it. I already have a list of things I have worked out that I want to do, and story times are one of them. And I actually have quite a few to share with you. Not all paranormal, but this one and maybe two others are paranormal. But this is the first one. I really wanted this to be the first video I put out in October, but I just didn't get around to filming it. I ended up filming, I think the farm video was my first video. No, I had a fall vlog. That was my first video in October. And so yeah, I just went with the whole fall autumnal theme of things and kind of posted videos like that. But I was like, it's getting close to Halloween. Let's throw some spooky in there. I actually already recorded this video like earlier this week or last week, and I recently looked it over and I hated the way it came out. I tried editing it just didn't look right, so I was like, let's redo it. So we're gonna redo it. I know it's super bright outside. It's only like 3 something. It's 3:24 and it's October 14th. So I know it's super bright and it's probably not setting the scary vibe, but you know, grab a blanket, watch this at night, drink some apple cider. I don't know what to tell you. Get some popcorn. But this is gonna be a pretty scary paranormal story time because it's based on true story. I promise. I'm not a liar. I'm telling you guys the truth. This is based on true story. So let's get right into it. So this story takes place in about 2015, 2016. All I know is I was 13 years old. So it takes place when I was 13, and a little background knowledge before we get into the whole story. I have lived in the same house my entire life. So the room that I'm currently in, I haven't been in this room my entire life. This actually is my brother's room. I got this room when I was around, I think 11 or 12. So I've been in this room since that long. And more background info. Keep in mind, note that my mom is a very generous person, and she's always trying to help people in the best way she can, and that sometimes that requires her to bring people into her home. And because I'm a generous kid, I'm like, yeah, they can stay in my room. So that's kind of how our haunting happened. So now into the story. My mom met this lady named, we're gonna call her Miss Lilac for the sake of saving face or whatever, and I don't want to like throw anybody names out there. So my mom met this woman named Miss Lilac when it was like years before. Like I think I was probably an infant or I wasn't born. She met her really long ago. And she met her at a store. She was an older woman and she didn't have a car. She was like, let me help her. And my oldest brother was just like, no, don't do it. He was like, I know something's weird. So I don't know if you guys believe in things like voodoo or anything like that, but she definitely was doing something because she looked a lot older than what she was. And one of the side effects that some people say of using voodoo is it starts to make your face look older, especially if you're using voodoo to attack other people. So don't quote me on that. You should definitely do your research, but that is what I've heard. Now moving on, she met Miss Lilac, she helped her out, and from then like they weren't necessarily friends, but like they hung out from time to time, and my mom helped her in her times to meet, which happened to be a lot. Miss Lilac encountered things like paranormal activity in her homes, and it followed her everywhere, and she thought, you know, it was the homes, but you know, if you ever watched Insidious or anything, it is the person that can actually get haunted and possessed, so that is why it kept following her. So during her time of trying to run away from her inner demons or whatever the case may be, she needed somewhere to stay, so my mom was like, hey, you can stay at my house for 3 days, so that's what she did. And so my room the room we're in right now. I'm not gonna give you like a whole room tour. My room's really tiny and I hate it, so I'm definitely not gonna do that. But the room I'm in right now and I'm filming in is the room she stayed in for 3 days. And on the 3rd day we helped her get her stuff and she left. And I remember that night we went to the movies, we came back, it was pretty late, and sometimes we like to go in my mom's room and kind of just chill and chat at the end of the night, just to unwind, you know, have some family time. So we did that, and once we got pretty tired, it started getting late. My oldest brother was like, you know, I'm gonna go shower, and occasionally my oldest brother, because this used to be his room, he still feels comfortable throwing his stuff in here. Oh, my camera's blinking, let me hurry up and finish the story time. He feels comfortable throwing his stuff in here, so you know, keep that in mind. And then my other brother was just going to his room, so I was the only one left in my mom's room. Me and her were just talking, and at the time she had this like swivel computer chair, and I remember being in the chair, and from her like room, her room is right there, like down the hall, but like when I say down the hall, it's a few steps away, so you can see from her room into my room, like straight into my room. So I was at the threshold of her room in the swivel chair, and I turned around and I faced my room, and all I know is I saw this super duper tall shadow figure with like a fedora or whatever, like almost kind of close to Abe Lincoln hat, but it wasn't like that tall. It was pretty tall though, and a trench coat. I couldn't make out any bigger features, but you know by looking at it that it was a man. And he walked back and forth in my room, just doop doop, like, excuse me. But right where the camera is actually standing on the tripod, that is where he walked back and forth. And he did about 2 or 3 times, and you know your mind tries to make logic sense out of everything. So my logical mind was like, okay, it's just my oldest brother and he's just walking back and forth in my room, you know, grabbing something, because he's always in here, putting his stuff in here because he still feels like it's his room. But you know, he definitely did tell me he was going to take a shower, and I saw him go in the bathroom, so I called out to him and I asked him, you know, where he was, and he said he was in the bathroom. Called out to my other brother and he said he was in his room. So it was like, who's in my room? It never occurs to me that it could be like an intruder or anything, and it never was, because we went in there and it was empty, and that is the start of how I started to come about seeing this shadow man, person, figure, apparition, whatever. And my mom blessed the house that night.
The power of God, I condemn you back to hell.
It was calm for a while, but after a bit I started to have terrible night terrors. I would always see him in my dreams. He would threaten my family members. He never talked, but he always like was a looming presence. And then there was this one time I had a sleepover. I don't typically have sleepovers, like huge sleepovers. I maybe have a friend or two over at one point. But I had a friend over at the time, and we were in my room, and we both are into super scary stuff. We like watching scary movies, talking about it, doing stuff like that. So we were in the middle of talking about scary stuff, and then she was like, I don't want to scare you, even though we were in the middle of talking about scary stuff. But she was like, I see something in your room. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, over there by your bookcase there was a tall man, and he had a hat and a trench coat on. Mind you, I had never ever told her, or anyone else for this matter besides my family that was there that night, the story about the man in my room. And so I was freaked out. The fact that she saw this person, I wasn't the only one, because at the time when I saw the figure walk across my room, I was the only one to see it. Nobody else saw it. And nobody to this day saw. I think my mom said she saw it one time in her dream, but other than that, nobody else saw it. And finally somebody else saw it, and I felt like, oh my god, like I'm not crazy. There was something in my room, and it still was, because that sleepover happened when I was 16. Mind you, when Miss Lilac stayed up for 3 days and I started seeing the apparition, I was 13. So 3 years later, and it's still in my room. To this day, I don't know exactly if it's still here or if it's moved on or what it is. It's just now I don't feel anything, you know. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel afraid. Maybe that's because I do pray a lot more, and you know, I'm more, you know, positive about things. I'm not negative about things anymore like I used to be. That's maybe why I don't see it, or maybe it has moved on. I don't know, but that was something else. That definitely was a scary experience to me. I'm glad it never got to a point where it's like physical or things are getting thrown around, I'm getting touched, none of that stuff. But that is what occurred to me. That is my first paranormal story time on here. I do have more to share with you guys, but I'm gonna just give it to you, gradually in bits. But that is it for right now. I don't want this video to get too long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you chills or it was scary. I know I like watching scary paranormal story times myself, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, subscribe, and like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!